Now? Can you hear me now? Hmm? No, it's not. Yeah, I think so. Okay, how about now? Guys, what is this? I've taken a break for like 1 month. I need to get my bearings back. Already all are complaining. What is this? Okay, I can be heard. That's nice. Yeah, I don't know honestly what I did, but somehow it's working now. I hope it's loud enough. Hello, hello, Guki Reza, crazy technician. Man, y'all are so loyal. Thank you, guys. Y'all haven't missed a single stream. It's crazy. Akash, nice to see you back. Stubble is showing the big break. Well, I was just lazy. That's the truth. Thank you very much, Akash. Yes, yes. Today I'm going to be talking about that. My tournaments. Hello, hello. Nice to see you all back. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, today I was thinking about talking about the tournaments that I played, the Grenke tournament and Menorca. Mm, eighth round of Menorca. Oh, that game. Yeah, yeah. I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Okay. What do you all mean? What should I start with first? Like Grenke or Menorca? I think Grenke because it was freestyle and freestyle is fun. Thank you very much. Increase the volume. Okay, okay. Let me try to increase the volume. That's just me talking louder. That's what do you call increase the volume? Wait, let me try this one. Okay. Now, how about now? Okay, Grenke first. Right. Grenke first. Yeah. Okay. Grenke first. I think I'll just analyze it on a Lichess board. That's the easiest. Celebration stream. Yeah, you can call it that if that's what it is. Yeah, playing on the stage. Yeah, so Grenke, the thing is, there was a stage for the top four boards in the freestyle event and the top four boards in the open. And I was fortunate enough to play quite a few games on the stage. Like in the on the third or fourth board. I think once on the second board, maybe no, maybe third or fourth board. But yeah, it was cool to play on the stage. There were like many spectators and cameras, that sort of thing. Actually, the thing is, last year it was the same situation, and last year I was a bit like nervous and what do you say, a bit tense because of the crowd watching, and all the limelight is kind of on these boards. So I was a bit nervous, but that was good experience for me because this year I was feeling ready and I did not have those issues anymore. So yeah, which was my favorite game? I'm not sure. I think all my games were pretty interesting. Maybe the game against Lagarde was interesting, Haganah as well. The last game was interesting. If I mean, it was great, but there was a twist in the end. I'll come to that. I'll come to that. You look 2 weeks older with the beard. It's funny. You have a question. Was the Deutsche Bahn late during the trip? Um, Not the train that I took. I think the train that I took was fine. But in general, yeah, Deutsche Bahn is getting a bit late these days. So, yeah. Yeah, the game against Nepo was pretty interesting. I was close to lost, but I saved it in the end. So I'll come to that. I think I'll just go game by game. That's easier. So yeah, that's the first game. I'll just start, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So the first game was against a Chinese player, and this was the position. Like it. I mean, okay, it's very weird, of course. I'm not sure. Do you all want me to give like a introduction to how freestyle works, like the castling and stuff? So let me give an introduction. So in freestyle, the positions, the king has to be between the two rooks first of all, so that castling either way is possible. So like, let's say I castle over here. Let's remove all these pieces, and I castle with my king over here, the king would go to g1 and the rook on f1. That's just a kingside castle basically. So, and if I do the same, of course, with the other rook, it just becomes a long castle. With the king on c1 and the rook on d1. So in all positions, yeah, the king has to be in between the two rooks, and in general, the other pieces can be wherever they are based on the position that's drawn. So the thing about this tournament was it's very cool. You just go there and you immediately start playing. There's no preparation, no nothing, and it's yeah. So when you arrive at the tournament hall, there's usually like a small, I guess, announcement or no opening ceremony, you can say, and some special guest of honor would draw the position from all of the 960 positions. Someone would draw a position, and that's the position we would play for the round. So that's quite cool because I mean, normal events we don't really have this. Like the pairing is usually out the evening before or something, and you have to prepare and all that stuff. So I really like freestyle event because none of this was involved and you just play. So yeah, this was the first game. Okay, I'll just go through it very briefly, I guess, because there's a lot to talk about. Yes, yes. So the game was like at 10 a.m. The first it was like a double round event. So the first game of the day was at 10 a.m. and everyone has to arrive at 10 a.m. and then the position would be drawn so that there's no like outside assistance involved. And soon after the position is drawn, just the clocks are started. So yeah, the game starts immediately. So you have no chance to check or research anything about the position. Little advantage to black on the clock, true, but sometimes like some of the positions were just bad for black. It was crazy because let me tell you, the games that I was white, somehow the positions were okay for black, and when I got black, somehow like whoever drew the position, it was just bad for black. It was simply bad for black. Like even my game against okay, I'll come to it later, but I can just show you quickly. Like the game against Hans, for example, this position was just bad for black. I'll explain to you why later on, but it was just simply not nice. Yeah, and that's the disadvantage of being black. I mean, in any case, even the game against Nepo, for example, it looked almost lost to me in the beginning. I just, I think I spent like 20 minutes on move one in many games just because it looks terrible. Yeah. So okay, let me just go game by game. Yeah. So in this game, I started with e4, and in general, yeah, the knights I was kind of planning to put them here. I was wondering whether to put the bishop here, but also I could push d4. So in the end, I just ended up playing knight g3. My opponent just copied me, which is very logical. I mean, he's doing the same thing. Knight f3, knight f6. Yeah, and over here, I went c4 because I realized my opponent might be planning to play d5. Like if I went over here d4, let me just confirm with the computer, but something like this was not really working for me because my pawn is hanging, yeah. And yeah, there was this cool trick I remember seeing, like if I go queen g5 to attack the knight, I think he just takes and goes f6. So yeah, the basic point was that I could not push d4. So I thought if I don't push d4, let me at least prevent him from pushing d5. That's why I went c4. And yeah, so that's why I played c4 to prevent d5. But after c5, the problem was like the position became very blocked. And as you can see, like I cannot push d4, you cannot push d5. It's just very blocked and very, very equal. So that was the only disadvantage. So I played this. And here as well, my opponent plays a5, even taking the liberty to prevent any b4 stuff. Because like if d6, maybe I had the option of b4. Actually not because of bishop a4. And he wins the pawn. But in general, he just wanted to stop b4. So he goes a5. And now I became a bit desperate for some reason because hello Tanishk. Yeah, I played bishop d2 because I wanted some idea like this, but my opponent played pretty decent moves and all of a sudden I was just out of a plan. And here is when I went wrong a little bit. I became a bit too ambitious. I should have just made like normal moves, but I played h4 trying to get something like this. And yeah, just in short, it wasn't a great idea. I was just, yeah, a bit too ambitious. So I play knight h4, like hinting at f4. Here he plays bishop g4. Very nice move actually, because my pawn is weak over here. Like let's say I take, he takes, and then suddenly I'm losing this pawn. My queen is just stuck. Everything is stuck over here. So the only move not to lose this pawn is bishop f3, because if he takes, then he can't bring the queen. Of course, I'm still worse, but at least it's not very clear, yeah? So he goes bishop e6, which is cool. And I just play queen c2. I guess hinting at some short castle or long castle in general. And yeah, he just plays one good move after another. I was just so confused because in general, my freestyle games are quite convincing. But over here, I just had a terrible position because my pieces were stuck. Like, absolutely nothing to do. So I played rook h1 here, hoping for him to go g5, because if he doesn't go g5, then I'm not sure what to do. Like, if he just makes a random waiting move like this, I'm just worse, yeah? So he goes g5, fortunately, because the only thing I can do with my knight is go to the square. That's why he should have delayed it. So playing g5 was not the best from him. So I go over here and I sacrifice a pawn, in essence, to get some sort of activity. And here I long castle. This was quite nice. This is how you long castle in freestyle, by the way. You can't see the eval bar. You want to see the eval bar? Okay, sure. If you want to see the eval bar, I can make that happen, actually. If you want to see the eval bar. Yeah, there's the eval bar. Anyways, wait a second. Yeah. So over here I long castle. And I'm pretending to have some compensation on the light squares, like all these squares are quite weak. But in general, the thing is the position is so blocked that I can't like break through and can't do anything. So if he just waits around a little bit like this or something, I guess I'm okay, but I'm in no sense better. Yeah, so the thing is he wants more than just waiting. He goes g4. And I saw this in advance, and my idea was to play bishop e4, and he takes on f2 as well, which was a bit too ambitious. Like he could have simply gone back and it would have been fine for him. But he takes on f2. And at this point I realized, like, okay, well, I'm already 2 pawns down. Let me at least try to play against his king, because his king is going to be quite weak. So I find this excellent idea of, okay, let me switch this off because it'll influence me and you. So, okay, you want to explain the long castle? Yeah. So the thing is, like, long castle is basically if you put your king over the rook, it's going to go into the normal castling position. Like, you know, in normal chess, when you castle, the king goes here, the rook goes here. And when you castle over here, the king goes here and the rook goes here. So it's the same thing. If you castle here, it becomes the same thing. And if, like, for example, let's say something like this happened. If he did this, it would castle here. That's the point. That's the trick, basically, in freestyle chess. And it changes a lot of dynamics. Like, for example, if the king is here and I pretend to attack him over here, he can suddenly escape and do this. So it can be quite tricky, yeah, this freestyle castling. But over here, of course, since I already moved my rook, I cannot short castle. So I, of course, long castle. And he takes the pawn. Now, I can take this. Can I take this? No, I cannot take this actually, but maybe I can. But it's just a sad defense because I'm a pawn down and it's going into an endgame. He can trade queens like this or like this. So that was not my idea. My idea was actually to just sacrifice the whole house, put my rook on the 7th rank. Yeah, the king teleports. That's the point. So my idea was to put the rook on the 7th rank. And yeah, so all of a sudden, it's not very easy for him to defend because all this time the position was quite blocked. And now I have this idea of playing this, or, you know, he also has to be careful of some discovered attack with the bishop. Like a discovered check would be deadly because his queen is hanging. Maybe this could be an idea, or even rook f1 and the bishop is suddenly hanging. So here he realizes the danger and he thinks for a long time, I think. And in the end he goes g3, which is a bit ambitious because, I mean, he should try and care about his king a little bit. Apparently the best move was queen h3, which, yeah, it's not totally obvious. Maybe it's just preventing queen b3 and queen d3 stuff, I guess. But okay, it was not at all obvious. And h5 and thank you Keshori. h5 instead of g3, but yeah, what's the point exactly? I mean, I still try to attack you. I mean, also I have this additional possibility of bishop g5. No, the thing is, black's king is the problem. So Yeah, yeah. He cannot even short castle. That's the thing. So, yeah, his king is essentially just stuck. So he goes g3, and now, yeah, now I go queen d3, because queen b3 I would hang queen takes e4, and he prevents mate. So of course my idea is queen d3 and the idea queen d5, and now already it's not at all easy for him to play. I During the game I actually saw the best defense for him. Yeah, after h5 even rook df1 is an idea. There are many ideas for me honestly. Rook df1, perhaps rook df1. I mean, yeah, maybe rook df1 even. But in general, like, the point is not about what is wrong after h5. The point is like you're doing nothing. Yeah, h5 doesn't solve your king's problem. The problem is your king right now. So he goes g3. Then I go queen d3 with the idea queen d5, and yeah, now it's pretty clear that his queen is out of play, and it's a desperate situation actually. Sorry, I have a bit of a sore throat, but um, yeah, the best defense for him was actually rook a6, which was a bit insane. But I saw it during the game because the idea is this, and suddenly I'm checkmated actually. Yeah. But in general, looks very difficult to prevent this. I remember seeing many ideas during the game. Something, I think rook e8 was also rook e8 was what he played. What else did I see? Saw some other ideas, but I forgot. Yeah, I forgot everything. And this game was played a long time back. But no, in general, the idea of rook a6 is just you have to get your rook into place. So that's the only idea. Another idea I have is, by the way, rook takes f8. So yeah, let me just go to the game, I guess. He goes rook e8, which looks logical. The idea of just going bishop e7. So, for example, if I went here, I think he had bishop e7 already. I'm just trying to remember what I was thinking about. Yeah, also, by the way, another idea is I forgot everything. Rook df1, was it long castle here? Yeah, by the way, long castle here is crazy. Huh. A lot of GMs in Grenke forgetting how to castle. Really? Honestly, I did not look at other games because I was just focused on mine. But yeah, in general, yeah, let me just see actually, because long castle over here, yeah, bishop takes a5. But bishop e7 was the problem, yeah. And, oh yeah, this was one line, by the way. The thing is, I win a piece, but his pawn is queening. So if he does something like this, or even just take the pawn, I cannot checkmate him. That's the problem. I can just go for a draw, perhaps, or go bishop e3. But in general, it's not winning. So the thing is, I had to play for checkmate. I couldn't just win the piece and be happy because, yeah, his g pawn would be queening. So the idea of rook e8 was quite nice. He had this idea of playing bishop e7. But over here, I calculated the win until the end. It was insane because it was pretty forced and it works. So rook takes f8, take, check. He has to go here because this is senseless. And over here, bishop takes a5, because if I take this, then he has b6 and king a6, and he escapes. But bishop a5, with the idea of bishop b6, the only move is rook a8. Now bishop b6, king a8. And if I go queen d7 here, he has rook c6. And queen d8 looks nice and flashy, but unfortunately goes back rook c8. That's why I go queen d3 here. And after queen f3, the point being, of course, if rook f3, then queen d7. If rook c6, queen d8. And after queen f3, just queen c2. That was quite cute because I simply go check and it's mate, yeah, and you cannot prevent this. He tried doing this and queen takes d1, but after king d1, like, there's no time to queen because I just have queen a7 mate, yeah. And he could try a last trap with rook d8 check because the idea of bishop d8 g2 is quite scary. Suddenly he's queening and I have nothing to do. But of course, my plan was to go here and escape everything. In the game, he just went here, but yeah, I collected everything and won pretty easily. That was, yeah, it was a very interesting game. I mean, I was not doing well in the beginning, but then I suddenly created this attack out of nowhere. And this geometry really worked in my favor because his queen was out of place. No, this was the Grenke tournament. This was not Menorca. This was before Grenke. This was before Menorca. The audience. The broadcast. Yes, the broadcast was faulty, but they fixed it later on. So, yeah, it looked like I lost, but no. This was my game actually. So, yeah, interesting game, but I mean, it was not very pleasant to be worse pretty early on. Second game. Against Max Hess from Germany. Yeah. So this position pretty random again. King is in between the rooks, queen is over here. So okay, he starts c4. I go g6. Opening the bishop simply. He goes here. Now I did not want to go like play symmetrical against him because it would be too drawish, I guess. So I played d6. And my idea was to like play in some sort of King's Indian fashion with something like this. Perhaps if he goes g3. Or in general, just go knight c6. By the way, sorry about my cough. It's a bit annoying for me as well, but hope you don't mind. Yeah, somehow I caught this at some point. So he goes bishop d2 with this idea. And here I spent a long time because I was not sure what to do because it's not very easy how to create chances in this position as black. Yeah, bishop g7 is possible, but I guess this was his idea. Trading my bishop, and then he might play b4, gain space on the queen's side. So I went c5, which wasn't the best apparently, but during the game it looked okay to me. And yeah, apparently he could do this. But I don't see like what's the big deal, honestly. Like, why is it so much better for white? Okay, I'll just go to the game, I guess, because yeah, freestyle is hard to understand in general. So okay, he goes knight c3, I go bishop c6. Which is normal, I guess, because I'm awaiting his bishop to open up with g3. He gives a check now. And apparently, I had to go king e8, which was insane. Okay, yeah. I should speed up the analysis. Okay, so I should have gone king e8, but the problem is I'm losing castling, right? So I just went here. And he goes knight d5, bringing the knight in the center. At this point, I'm just trying to consolidate and activate my pieces, but he comes up with these very strong moves. Like this, for example, is just a checkmate threat. And here I realized I was in a terrible position. Because very soon I just got worse. Over here, I lost the bishop advantage. My structure is a bit weak. So this happens. I'm sort of holding on, bringing my pieces into place slowly. And at this moment, he becomes too ambitious and creates an attack. And I have this move knight d4, which was quite nice and creates many threats, bringing my knight here, and it defends everything basically. And here he played queen g4, which was a huge blunder. And okay, I'll tell you a story actually. It was quite funny. Over here, he blundered with queen g4, and I saw why it was a blunder, because I can take, for example, and I noticed this trick with knight c2, which was insane. I'm attacking his rook, and if he goes here, I suddenly give a check, and I win an exchange. It's like an insane tactic. I think it's not even possible to have such a tactic in classical chess. It's just freestyle is so weird that such a tactic is actually possible, yeah, to win two rooks like this. But at this moment, I went to the arbiter to confirm like the castling rules, like during the game, because I was not sure, like, what if he suddenly castles? Like his king could end up on c1 and rook on d1, and then I don't have that anymore. So I went to the arbiter to confirm this, but then fortunately my suspicions were right. He cannot do this because I'm controlling the square, so he cannot castle. Like, let's say his king was on d1, then he would be able to castle. Yeah. If he castled, it would be insane. Would be. But fortunately, I saw this beforehand, and I realized like he cannot castle. But then I saw I can do it in a better way. I can go knight c2 here, and guys, look at this. If he goes here, I have checkmate. How cool is that? I have never seen a checkmate like this before, I think. That's quite cool. But of course, he sees this, he castles, and then I just win in a normal way. I'm just an exchange up. And he resigns. Smothered fate. Yeah. So that's how my second game went. Again, a bit topsy-turvy, but in the end, I pull it off. Third game. Guys, do you notice something about the position in the third game? Like if you look at it, it's the exact same thing, but in reverse order of the first game. Like look at the position of the what the setup of white's pieces, and look at the first game, right? It's the exact same thing, just in reverse order. Like I remember as soon as the position was drawn, people were laughing because it's quite humorous to have just the same thing in a reverse order. So I started in pretty much similar fashion. Yeah, Han's game is after this game. How do you know which freestyle position numbers is? There is a database online or something like to know which position it is, but okay. Frankly, I do not care, so I didn't check it out. So in this game, I try to grab the center immediately, and it works out decently until I played bishop f4. Apparently, I should have played f4, and I would have a nice space advantage. But I go here, completely underestimating that he has a lot of resources. Point being that if I go here, he has f5, which is very cute, and my bishop is suddenly trapped. That would not have been nice. So here I just accept that I've not gained an opening advantage, and the game is very equal. It's heading for a draw pretty much, and I was kind of okay with a draw. I mean, I did not get much. My opponent played decently, but over here we reach this endgame where it should be a draw, of course, but he starts giving me some chances. For example, here his pawn structure is weak, so he already has to play precisely. And over here he goes rook d1. I would have preferred rook d3 actually, and something like this to try and exchange off this pawn. But he goes rook d1, and over here again his last chance was to play rook d3 and quickly try and exchange this pawn. But he doesn't sense my idea, and he goes here. And already after c4 he's in a bad position, because if he stays on this file, I simply go here, already targeting his pawn, and so he keeps his rook on the 5th rank. The problem is the rook is very passive here, and slowly I try to gain space, just restricting his movement as much as possible. The main problem over here is of course his pawn structure. Like long term it's going to be a weakness. So I slowly bring everything, and here I find the right moment to trade into a pawn endgame, simply because I'm so active that it has to be winning, and I just played this based on intuition, and yeah, slowly advanced everything, and sooner or later there was a zugzwang because I win this pawn and over here I advance over here. So yeah, this was quite nice. It happened all of a sudden, like this from this position, which was totally equal, to being able to get this pawn structure, which was already an achievement. I yeah, slowly but surely I managed to convert the advantage. So this was actually quite a satisfying win because I was supposed to draw it, but I managed to win, and I was now in 3 out of 3. Um, and in the fourth round, I played against Lord Hans Niemann, the one and only. Huh, yeah, I think everyone knows his name by now. So Lord, and okay, yeah. By the way, this I remember some random guest of honor was again given the chance to draw the position, um, and when we looked at the screen, we were confused because everything looked normal. But then, of course, you notice that the king and queen are just in the opposite order, and this was like insane because what are the chances we get something like this out of 960 positions? Like this was couple switch position, yeah, sort of the couple switch position, and this looked quite funny and humorous at first. But as soon as we started thinking, I realized this position is just shit for black, absolutely shit. Like every opening is bad. So my opponent, he Hans blitzes out 1d4, and here I realize everything is just bad. Like if I try a normal move, which would be like 1e4 e5, it's basically similar. The problem is first of all he can try this, but also something like knight c3, and in general he's very quick to long castle, and his queen is well placed on e1, and I can't do the same because I have to defend over here. So maybe over here, I don't remember what was the best move, but yeah, knight c3 was the best move, and something like a Ruy Lopez would just be bad, yeah, for me, simply because yeah, he can long castle over here and my king is just stuck. This was absolutely insane to me. Like I realized everything just looks so bad. He can long castle, develop his pieces, whereas I'm stuck over here. So this is like a normal Ruy Lopez, right? What about, let's try Scandinavian. And then I see literally anything. He brings the knight, brings the bishop, long castle. Again, it's just bad for me. So now I'm wondering what opening am I supposed to play? Like the French, maybe the French. The French has always served me well. Something like this. I was fine to play an advanced French. Like this is just an advanced French in a different, with the king and queen switched. But problem is he goes knight c3 and knight c6. Over here again, I can't really castle, and if I long castle, my king would be on c8 and rook on d8. Whereas in a normal French, my king would be on g8, which would at least protect my pawns. Over here, this is totally unprotected, and it's just bad because now he has so much space, and he can choose where he wants to castle. Like he can even castle here if he wants. So this looked terrible. I was thinking of playing a Winnow, but in general, Winnow doesn't have a great reputation, and here as well, my looks. Yeah, it doesn't look great. Doesn't look very inspiring. So in the end, I decide on a Sicilian, and this was quite funny. As you can see on the time over here, I spent 20 minutes, and as soon as I made my move, I just looked around to see what is happening on other boards, and just behind me, Magnus was playing, and at that very moment, Magnus as well played f5. After 20 minutes, a short time after I played f5. So, and that was quite funny. So yeah, in essence, I'm just playing a Sicilian. So he goes knight c3, and Magnus went d6 actually, which is a good move. He was playing a Taimanov, of course, but as you probably have seen in some of my games, I'm a true knight off player, so I aim for the knight off. And here, yeah, my opponent plays pretty fast until this point, and okay, a knight off would be at h6, but I think I went for a classical Sicilian with knight f6, yeah? Yeah, you sort of, okay, Reza. I mean, it's very hard to generalize things in freestyle chess. Like very very hard to generalize. Like most of it just is about feeling and um, yeah, intuition, I guess. Yeah. So over here he plays a bit primitive, like he long castles over here. And very soon, I think I just got a very nice position because he played a bit primitively, allowing me to develop my pieces. I made some normal moves, and this just looks like a Taimanov, but of course, um, it's like a mirror image of a Taimanov. In general, this is a very typical structure in normal, like classical chess, but in essence, we're just playing the same thing with, yeah, flanks reversed, I guess. So he's playing some typical moves, I'm playing some typical moves. And yeah, very normal stuff, I guess. I tuck my queen back so that it doesn't run into this sort of stuff. And over here, around here, yeah, here I make the mistake of playing e5. I thought it was the right time to break through, but of course I had to like prepare it with one move. I think rook f8 was good over here. Yeah, I was thinking of playing rook f8, but then I decided why to do that? Why not just play e5? And then I completely missed that. In this position, he goes knight d5, and apparently this is quite strong because my pieces are just like a tempo shot of being in the perfect position. So for example, if I try to trade off his bishop, I run into f4, and yeah, of course this does not work. And in general, if I put my queen here, it's very very suspicious. He can already start an attack. And yeah, so over here I thought of a lot of options, like a lot of options. In the end, I came up with this defense. The problem was I was like very very low on the clock, and this became a very annoying position. He solidified his bishops, brought his queen. I mean, he was doing everything perfectly. And over here, yeah, I was trying to trade off the bishop with bishop f5. And apparently he had like a win with this. But of course, I mean, with the amount of options, it's never easy to choose. He chose the very tempting move, knight takes c7, just aiming for a straightforward tactic. The point being that I think here he wanted, yeah, I think it was c5. And everything is just crashing through. I lose my bishop over here. But after knight c7, my plan was to take, of course. And this line is very forcing until this position, where he's a pawn up in an endgame. And yeah, it looks like a very solid advantage. And here I defended like a computer pretty much. I played the most annoying moves and tried to put up the most resistance. And he had a lot of time, like he had 25 minutes. I was just playing on increment. And we were both making some good moves. Over here, of course, he's threatening this guy, so I play here. And yeah, over here bishop d4 is good. But he trades, which is also tempting. And okay, during the game, I was wondering maybe he could play rook e1 to cut my king. And rook d7, I think, what was it? I think rook e4 check, was it? Yeah, honestly, I don't even remember. Maybe it was bringing the king. I was afraid of something like this. Like, and then he just slowly marches his king up, and not sure what I'm doing on the other hand. But yeah, apparently the computer sees some counterplay like this, I guess. I guess so. But okay, in the game, still the position looks lost for me in general because he's bringing like his rook to the 7th rank. But the point is, my king is simply on d2 now. And I start pushing. And I create all the counterplay that I want with this pawn. I went rook e8 because I wanted to avoid this idea, cutting off my king. So I go rook e8 over here. He's aiming for this pawn. And I go here. And here, finally, I made a mistake. I went king e2. Apparently, I should have given a check and gone here. And yeah, I just totally forgot about this idea where I queen my pawn and my king is near his pawns. And I think this was a draw. But it was very, very difficult in time pressure. I mean, I had played all these moves pretty much on increment and they were only moves. And yeah, this was not easy. I played king e2, which looked very natural, but turns out it's just a bit too slow. And his pawns are simply queening here. And yeah, here I tried like a last trick. Yeah, of course, if he goes here, suddenly I'm checkmating him. This would have been nice, but Yeah. My opponent is not that weak of a player to miss such a move. So he goes b5, of course. And the point being that now his king can escape. And I set like one last trap. I play rook e3. And now there's one more trap. If you are too like hasty and you go g7, my point was rook e7 and it's a double attack. And that would have been quite funny. But of course, he sees it. And yeah, he doesn't allow any of it and he wins. So yeah, this game was quite strong from my opponent, I guess. Soon after the opening stage, he played pretty convincingly. I'm not saying that like it was suspicious or anything. He actually played a strong game and kind of outplayed me in this phase. And then I also went low on the clock, which wasn't nice. But over here, I did a very, very good job of defending, I think. Problem was that, yeah, I had to find like all these only moves and then I failed at one moment. And yeah, it turns out it wasn't enough to hold the game. So tough game, tough game. And I wasn't too upset because it was an interesting game. I defended quite well. So yeah, I just wanted to focus on the next games and see what could be done. With 10 minutes, perhaps, because seeing this ideas itself is very important. Like the fact that my king is here and my rook helps queen the pawn. So my king can run back faster in whichever direction. That was the main idea. The problem in the game is that my king was far away and it just takes too much time to come back in any direction, yeah? So that's the point, yeah? That I simply let the rook do the job of queening the pawn and my king can come stop his pawns. That was the critical idea, which I had missed. So yeah, it was a tough game. Hello, Game Smasher. Hello. Nice to see you back. Well, Hans in general is an intuitive player, so I mean, we both didn't see the defense, and we both were not even aware of the evaluation during the game. We were just trying to play the best moves, so it's hard to, I mean, criticize either of us for that, I think. But yeah, in general, he played practically a pretty good game, I think, in my opinion. So yeah, that was the fourth game. And then I get some 2400 international master from Germany in the evening. The game against Hans was in the morning, so this was the evening game. And okay, one more funny story. So again, the game against Hans, as you probably saw, like the king and queen were interchanged. And in my mind, like as soon as the position was drawn, I was just thinking to myself, like, what are the odds that in the next game something else might just switch, like the rook and knight? And crazy as it may seem, I kind of predicted that happening because in the very next game, that's exactly what happened. Like, wait, why is it not loading? Yeah, in the very next game, it's just the same position with the rook and knight interchanged, which is just absolutely insane. Like, what are the odds that such positions may arise? Like last year, we had nothing of the sort. Last year, the positions were like totally random and everything. So this was insane. So in this game, I was in no mood to try and like prove an advantage with white. So I just played a very primitive opening, going for something like this. And here, my opponent is just blindly copying me. So I realized, let's play c4. Because in general, I've realized like with the knight on a8, c4 is a very strong move. Because if you get the pawn to c5, his knight might be stuck. And it's not very nice for him. So that was the idea of c4. So let's say if he goes c5, I think already b4 is strong, yeah? And the problem is his knight would love to be on b8, so it could go to c6. But from a8, it cannot do this. Yeah, exactly. Like this doesn't seem like a position where it can be a nuisance for black, right? But the game against Hans, like I had a terrible position as black, as you can see. So I go c4. And here he realizes, of course, that c5 runs into b4. So he goes c6. He again wants to maintain symmetry. But here I find this very nice idea of playing d3. Contains a small trap actually. If he goes d5, suddenly I have this idea of playing cd5. And all of a sudden his pieces are in a bit of a mess, to put it mildly. So he realizes he cannot go d5. He goes rook e8. And here I spent like a very long time, probably like 25 minutes, because I was seeing these very interesting ideas with attacking this pawn and using this rook. So in the end, I play something like this. Also, knight b6 fails to a4. This is quite strong because simply a5 is coming and it's very, very annoying for him. So he goes here, and now I go queen a4, which is again strong. The point, like, I would have liked to go bishop f4, by the way, because the idea being d6, I go knight d4, and strange as it may seem, yeah, it's just lost for him because I'm invading on c6, yeah. But of course, over here, I think he goes knight c7, and he's sort of okay. So I go queen a4, trying to buzzer this pawn, and bishop f4, and b4. And here I'm claiming like his position is very awkward and his pieces are awkwardly placed. He cannot play e5. He goes knight h5, which is kind of logical if he wants to push. But the problem is I just simply sit in the center. Like, I think in normal chess you wouldn't really see this, but simply sitting in the center makes it very annoying for him to do anything. And well, at this point I just have a very huge advantage because his bishop is stuck. And yeah, over here we play some normal moves, I guess. And now it becomes a bit more clearer to see that I have a nice advantage because his pawn is weak. My pieces can put pressure. I mean, I have knight a5 coming. Whereas, yeah, not clear what he's doing here. So then in this phase, we just bring pieces together. Like, he's trying to defend his weakness. I'm just trying to put pressure. And at this moment, I think it's the right moment to take, because now I want to like create a huge weakness on c6. And yeah, I slowly do everything because there's no need to hurry, of course. And finally, I go for d4, like trying to create a second weakness in the center, because one weakness is not enough, by the way. Like, this is a very common principle in classical chess as well, like the principle of two weaknesses, where you attack, where after creating one weakness, you go and create another one. So the other one is in the center. And over here, he should have taken, of course, and tried this. And then I would probably try and play on this in the center. But he allows me to play this, and over here it's just a very, very bad position. His king is weak, potentially. His pawn is backwards. So here I just move around a little bit, just enjoying my position, perhaps, having fun. And here I trade into a rook endgame, which maybe not the wisest decision, but it was winning in the end. So that's okay, I guess. Rook behind the pawn. Yeah, just very normal stuff, I guess. Over here he wins this pawn, of course, but the point is my pawn is just very far advanced and his rook is stuck, and slowly but surely I'll create some zugzwang where he'll simply have to lose all his material. And yeah, he tries something here, but it's to no avail. I mean, I simply bring all my pieces, and yeah, over here he just resigns because king c7 is coming. So yeah, this is how my fifth game ended, which was quite satisfying because bouncing back after a loss is never easy. So I managed to do so in a nice way. So it was nice. Well, in general, yeah, maybe I should have not gone into the rook endgame, honestly. Like, it was not the wisest decision, just objectively turned out to be winning, of course. Maybe I could have like played in a more dynamic fashion, keeping all the pieces, but I thought like it has to be winning. There's no way it shouldn't be winning. I mean, there are so many pawns on the board, and yeah, just from experience, it felt like it had to be winning. So that turned out to be true, and it was a good game in general, I guess. So that was the fifth game. Now, the sixth game, I was up against a much stronger opponent, Maxime Lagarde, grandmaster from France. And the position, yeah, I don't know what can be said about the position. Like, well, bishops on the corner, which makes it quite easy to develop, I guess, because, well, the game started pretty normally for a long while. We were just doing some normal stuff. And over here, I made a slight inaccuracy by going knight d6. I wanted to put my knight here, but I had missed a subtle nuance by him, and he went like knight b5, which turned out to be very strong. Reason being that if I take, first of all, he goes here, of course. So let's say I take. Now his point is he takes, and I've lost my castling rights on the king side. And let's say I go something like here. he trades and he goes d4, and suddenly my king is stuck because I can't castle. And Maxim Laga drew with Magnus. No, no, he lost to Magnus actually. He lost to Magnus. So we were both like a four. We were both on 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. He had lost to Magnus. So that this was his point. Like knight b5 was a very very good move by him, which I totally forgot about. But then I find like this resource of going knight d4, which was funny because I don't want to capture his bishop here. I want to capture it over here. And if he let's say he goes ed4, then already he can't open the center and it's fine for me. So he does this instead. And I sacrifice a pawn. And he decides to take it actually. The point being like I'm claiming I have this strong bishop and his king is weak, and he's just saying that he's a pawn up. So it was quite funny. There was a bunch of transmission errors. Well, yeah, that's sad I guess, but I can assure you that I was totally enjoying playing the whole event. So yeah, here I went c5, and yeah, he realizes that if he takes, suddenly his position is a bit too open. Maybe I can play bishop f3 by the way, and do something like this, and suddenly his king is a bit weak. So he realizes that he needs to sack this pawn and try to like create counterplay by activating his king. So these were some good moves by him, by the way, bringing the knight perhaps, and well, slowly consolidating his position. And it's not very clear how I can checkmate him over here. So here I decide to sacrifice a pawn by going d3 just to open lines. It turned out to be interesting, but it doesn't mean that I'm winning or anything. And here I create more counterplay by trying to open more lines so that I can exploit his weak king. But he tries to trade queens, which was very smart. I escape. And then all of a sudden he's evading checkmate by hiding in the center, which was quite smart of him because, like, let's say I check, but now what? I literally don't have anything. Like his king is just hiding over here and he's still a pawn up. So it was quite funny. I go rook fd8, trying to create some threats. He just defends the knight. And over here I spent like some time because it was not clear what I must do. Yeah, over here exactly. So I give a check, and in my mind I was still trying to win, try to be ambitious because I want to play against his king, but he plays some very strong moves like rook d7 as well. I totally overlooked. And all of a sudden like he's creating these threats, and if I give a check there is nothing after d3. So like rook d7 was very strong by him. And over here, like I was thinking and I realized it just looks absolutely terrible for me because he goes queen d4, knight f6, and now my king is weak all of a sudden. So out of desperation, in the end I just play h5 because, like, let's say, I don't know, something like this, and let's say I go like, I don't know, queen b1 maybe is an idea. I think he can just go like queen d4, and all of a sudden he's threatening to take this pawn, come back, and he can just torture me with his knight. So I realized, like, let me at least go h5 so that I control these squares and my pawn is not hanging. And after queen d4, queen c1, this again, like, look at my time management. I'm down to increment and my position looks terrible. I mean, especially since his knight is coming, and I was like very, very surprised to find out after the game that this is just totally equal. Like somehow he cannot do anything to take advantage and try to checkmate me. So in this position, like, he can easily go for a draw. This would be fair enough. But he plays for a win. And this idea was like genius, I think. Suddenly he's planning to run his king like the famous Nigel shot game. And I was like totally confused by this because I didn't think that such a way of playing would be possible. So I play something very logical. I bring my queen back to the defense. And of course he can try to like take his knight away. If only his knight was out of this board, he could easily checkmate me. The problem is he cannot do that. And that is quite funny. So like, let's say he goes here. I think I can just play g5 check and queen e6 check and win the knight. So he cannot even do knight d5. And over here, queen d6 was actually quite strong, which I was a bit worried about. The idea being that he can trade queens and claim that he has these two pawns, but apparently even here I am in time to save the game. Because I think over here I just go king d7, is it? Yeah, I think something like this. I'm not even sure what the draw is, but something like this over here. I'm just confused about this right now. Like, how exactly does it draw? F5. Yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, F5 is there. So that's how you draw the game. But this was not at all easy. I mean, I saw rook d8, but I was not sure about the follow up. Um, the real Mendonca's in the chat. How funny. But okay, the guy goes king g5. He's going on an absolute king hunt. Like if his king reaches h6, it's actually going to be me in trouble, not him. Like his king is extremely safe. Like how on earth am I supposed to attack this king? And the idea, of course, like I wanted to play king g7 to prevent it pinning his knight. Yes, it looks like the king is trapped, right? But here he goes queen d6, and suddenly I cannot escape with my queen. Like I really cannot. Maybe I can do something like queen e1. I did not even analyze this game with the computer. Maybe I can play queen e1. Yeah. Can I? Maybe I can play queen e1. I did not think about this during, like if he does this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, honestly. Like maybe he can just take. I don't know what's going on really. But during the game I saw this. Yeah, apparently queen e1, you just sit with rook f4. Wow. That is insane. And you just, yeah. I mean, I cannot do anything to his king, and I think he'll just go back queen d4 and threaten something with his knight. So, yeah, but okay, intuitively I felt like after queen d6, it's not great for me. I mean, like, I can't do anything with my queen to checkmate him, so it's not great. But then I see this move rook d8, which is quite strong, and he missed this move. And now I go king g7. The point is his queen is driven away, and now I have this. So he goes rook e2. Again, a very funny move. With the idea if I take, then I think he wants some discovered with his knight. Like maybe he just wants to take over here. Is it? It honestly, I don't even know how to prove these are winning or not. Like let's say he goes knight d7. Okay, at least he has the draw. Let's put it that way. Yeah? At least he has a draw. Like wait, does he have a draw? No. What exactly can he do, by the way? Okay, knight h5, king f8. I guess this. No, but here I escape, don't I? Yeah, here I escape. So knight h5, king f8. Check here is forced. Wait, what exactly does... Maybe... Huh. Oh, by the way, maybe knight e4 might be a move actually. And you know what my idea is? Like, okay, if king h7, it's check again. If king f8, it's check over here. Knight f6 winning the queen. And my idea is if king g8, now if knight f6, there's king f8, I think. So king h6. Wait a second, this might be a genius. This might be a stroke of genius, yeah? Yeah, but let me just check actually. No, I have king f8 here apparently. King h6 is the only move. King f8 is the only move. And, oh, right. So over here it's just a perpetual because king d7 runs into knight f6. So king f8 and it's just a perpetual. Yeah, that's quite crazy actually. Knight e4 is the only move to draw. Yeah. No, my point of playing knight e4 is of course to prevent queen takes d2 because the knight is protecting on d2. Yeah. So, yeah. But intuitively, again, like I was playing in 1 minute. Of course, I did not calculate any of this. I was just playing on intuition, and I saw I had bishop e4, keeping the pin, so he cannot move this knight and create some pesky check. So it was quite funny that I just played bishop e4. And here he goes c6, trying to distract my bishop. I go rook c8. Now d3, and here I just choose a very simple way of playing, just simply winning the piece over here. Of course, if he tries to defend it, I think I just go rook c5 or something. Or in general, I can just play e3 and not clear what he's doing because he's still pinned. So he takes over here, and now, yeah, I mean, I could probably just play. Wait, what was it that I was thinking about? Was it here? Rook takes f6? No. I had an option of keeping queens. Yeah, rook c5 check. Yes, rook c5, king f4. This, I knew this might be winning by keeping the queens, but I thought like we're both in time pressure, and I know the rook endgame is winning, so let me just go into the rook endgame. And here I have a final trick of rook f2 with the idea of checkmate. Rook d6 instead of rook c8. Rook d6, yeah, but after c7 already it's not very funny for me anymore, because here I'm going to lose the pin and he'll just win pretty much by doing this or winning my queen. So yeah, c7, and suddenly the pawn is becoming a very pesky thing. Like rook c6, I think d3, and yeah, I do not want to deal with this. Maybe rook d6, rook c6 might win actually. Like something like this might win, but I mean that's just the same as going rook c8 over here. That's just the same as going rook c8 over here. So yeah, this is how the game ended. I mean, for me, this is like a very, very funny game. Like right from the beginning, like first of all, the way that I had these light squares, the way that he escaped actually from my attacks with hiding the king over here, this was insanely funny. And then the way that he suddenly created all these threats against my king, and in fact it's just a draw, that was really crazy to me. But then he finds this insane idea of running with his king. I mean, this game was like very enjoyable to play, first of all, and insanely funny because it had so many twists and turns, and in the end it ends just with a rook endgame, which was winning for me. So that was funny. That was quite funny. So yeah, after this game, I'm 5 out of 6, which is not a bad score, and I'm doing pretty decently. And yeah, the next game against Duda was not very entertaining. Yeah, being equal throughout the game, and the attack was insane. Like I remember seeing after the game, like the whole game was just 0.00. It was insane. Like we both played like very strong moves throughout. Till a certain point. So it was quite funny to see that. So yeah, in the next game I play against Duda, world class player, of course. I'm pretty sure you all have heard about him. Yeah, I mean his peak rating was something like 2760 or something, maybe top, I don't know, 10 in the world. And yeah, I mean I won't say a lot about this game because it wasn't as dramatic as the other games. Oops. So I mean it was kind of dry in the beginning. I had a small edge, but then very soon he brought his pieces out like this, and yeah, he was sort of okay. And then, well, nothing much happened in general. I was probably I was running the risk of being a bit worse, and in general maybe I was a bit worse actually, damn. But yeah, I mean with less time I think literally anything can happen. So he tried to create some chances, but it kind of liquidated, and yeah, it just became a draw very soon. Yeah, so it was a decent game but not too entertaining. But the real entertaining game was the next one against Nepo, the one and only Nepo. I think y'all have been waiting for this game. I think, yeah. Yeah, I actually played against Nepo in the last year's Grenke Freestyle event, and I managed to beat him there in the third round. So it was funny that, cry baby, maybe. But it was funny that I faced him again in the same event. And again, like look at this position, right? It's the same thing, but the rook, bishop, and knight are interchanged on both sides. Like yeah, it's just totally interchanged. And as he again, Nepo, okay, the timestamp is not correct. He played this move very fast. This is not the correct timestamp. And here I started to think as usual, and I realized this is just a terrible position for black again. Like it's so bad. First of all, my g7 like pawn is extremely weak as well as the b7 pawn. So of course, being down a tempo and being black, it's just bad. It's simply bad. Like, I think c5 was played in many games, and maybe I should have played c5, but something like bishop e4, and already it's like very annoying to defend this pawn. Yeah, like, I mean, I have to place my pieces very awkwardly. I remember thinking like about many moves in the first move, like f6, f5, e5, c6, c5, maybe g6 as well, knight g6 as well. But knight g6, even knight g3 or f4, I don't remember which was better. Maybe knight g3 was a oh well. Oh yeah, yeah. I have to say something about this as well. So I was calculating this line like knight g3, knight f4, and then I see like, oh nice, I have this which is quite cute. But then I see something like this, and already it's very annoying for me to play again because my knight is just terribly placed. He's going to play something like this next. And even, by the way, this is a big threat. And suddenly my position is just bad. And in addition to that, of course, he has f4, which makes my knight not the best. Like, these sort of ideas are always in the air, as well as knight g3. Um, oh, the computer says something like this as well. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Like, I have to defend right from move one, which is like insane, to say the least. Mm, no, I do not see Nepo's game where he made it in 3 and 4 actually. I do not see. Ah, we hit 900 subs. That's nice. No, but like it's actually true. Like many people, even in the commentary, Peter Lecco was saying that this position is a nightmare for black. And in general, I discussed it with other players after the game, and we all like agreed this is just bad for black. It's simply bad. um, so in the end, I went like 1c6, like trying to get out my bishop. He goes f4, very strong move. And yeah, if you look at the timestamp, I spent more than 20 minutes on move one, thinking over these possibilities. So he goes f4, opening up his other bishop. Now I have to go f5. I have to like take some of the center at least. He goes knight g3, again very strong move. And here I go g6. And already my position is a bit shaky because my knight is kind of hanging on h8 and my bishops are kind of restricted. And yeah, he goes bishop d4. Now I see this very nice variation by going e5, sacrificing a pawn, and queen h4. And this is my way of creating counterplay. Like suddenly I'm attacking these guys. Of course he has to castle. Now I check. And okay, if I take the pawn, he goes d4. So of course I can play one more move before I take the pawn. And I play knight b6 to bring my knight into the game. I could have also long castle. I was thinking about long castle. And this would have been quite interesting. But I go knight b6. And he goes knight b3 to attack my queen. Now if I take this pawn, it's going to be disastrous because my queen is out of play. And maybe he can even go c5 and d4. Yeah, it's not going to be very nice. Maybe even some rook c3 ideas can happen, trapping my queen. So I just take the pawn instead. And I go knight c4. And over here, like I've already spent half my time on the clock. But I feel like at least I've got my pieces to decent squares. And no, c4 is not hanging, bro. Where? Where do you mean c4 hanging? Over here? Ah, over here. No, but over here, I think, what did he have? I think just e3. And my bishop is kind of hanging in many cases. Like, if I go queen d5, maybe e4 is already a big problem, yeah? I mean, he's getting a lot of threats against my queen, so this is not very nice. So yeah, I finally just play knight c4 over here. And I feel like I have a very nice position. My queen is in the center, knight is over here. I have these ideas. I can long castle. Yeah, creating a lot of threats. But then he plays this move rook c3, which is quite strong. And of course, he's hinting at such ideas in general. So I long castle, finally. And here he goes queen c1. And I was very confused by these moves. But then I realized like they were actually very strong, yeah, because my knight is suddenly hanging. He's threatening to take my knight. So I went d5 because that was what I planned to play. In case of cd6, I take back knight d6. But then I got another shock. As I was thinking, I realized cd6, knight d6, he might be able to sack the rook with the idea of this and knight c5. and he's threatening mate like this. So I have to go bishop c4, and here I feel like everything is fine. Like, okay, I'm in no danger. I can play bishop b5 next, and then I see he has rook f3, and I'm like, oh damn. I think I'm getting checkmated over here, simply because his rook is coming here and it's going to deflect my bishop. So here I start panicking, and then I realize maybe if he plays rook c6, I don't have to take. I can go king b8 and pretend like I have compensation, like something like this maybe. And I mean, play a pawn down, but pretend like it's fine, I guess. But after d5, he goes e3, which I was again confused by, because like, what is he even doing? And then I realized, like, this is just again very bad for me, because he's going to bring his knight here. He's going to kick my knight or play b4 and then just create a big attack on my king. And what am I doing in the meantime? Not quite clear, because anything that I do is extremely slow. Like, I was thinking about many possibilities. In the end, I decided to come up with this this way of playing, like queen e7, he goes knight e2. Okay, yeah, you can see I spent like 20 minutes on this move. Now I go knight f7, bringing my knight. He goes knight d4 as planned, knight g5, knight e5, and well, here a6 is important because I want to like force him to play a4 so that he goes b5, and now knight e4. So I'm kind of creating threats against his pieces to create some sort of counterplay. So if he takes, for example, I think here I can already take back like this or like this. But of course, he goes rook b3 first because he's in no hurry to take. So he goes rook b3. And now I force him to take on e4 because I'm threatening his pawn over here. So he takes and I go fe4. And over here, it looks very promising. I'm not sure because his knight is very well stationed on d4. His other knight can go anywhere. And he always has this idea in the air. And his king is very safe. So that's the problem. Like, I have some well-placed pieces, but my king is going to be potentially always unsafe. So he trades and he goes b5. Yeah, and over here I wanted to like play cb5, ab5, queen takes c5, but I was getting very low on the clock, and this looked like extremely dangerous for me with my king in the open. But objectively, I feel like it was totally fine. Yeah, the computer says it's zeros, but as you can see, I have to run with my king somewhere here and there, and yeah, it didn't look very promising to go in such a position with only 9 minutes to 41. And well, over here also I could have done this, but it didn't look very nice. I mean, his queen is just, yeah, this is not great. So in the end, I go a5 to block the situation and b6. And here it looks like, okay, well, I've solidified the queen side, I've blocked everything. But as it turns out, my king is always potentially weak, as he can always try to invade something like this on the king side. So the next few moves, he starts to do something like that. I play my queen on f2 like to prevent his queen from coming anywhere. Like, for example, he could have tried something like this, and potentially it could be an idea, or just in general, I thought it would be cute to put my queen on f2 just to prevent that. So he starts to play a bit slowly. Now I go like g5 and h6. Maybe it was not even the best, but I wanted to prevent like knight f4 stuff. And finally, like, he goes d3 over here, and here is when I actually panicked, because apparently I could have taken on e3, but I saw some ghosts of some form, like maybe you can go here, but maybe I have queen f6 over here. Yeah, that's the point. So yeah, I could have taken on e3, and concretely it turns out to be fine. But the problem is, like, it's so difficult to play such moves. Like, if his queen gets anywhere here, it's pretty much mate, yeah. And here I played queen f7, which was like a very panicky reaction. And here it's actually kind of lost, because slowly but surely he's bringing his queen into the play, and like my king is going to become weaker and weaker as he opens up the position more and more. Queen f6 with the idea of back rank. Rook f6 instead of knight e3. I don't remember considering this. Maybe like what does he have? Wait, I must have considered this. I think the problem is I didn't see a nice follow-up. Like, if he goes e4, what is the idea? Maybe queen e3? Maybe queen e3. Yeah. Rook f6 looks pretty decent now that I see it. The problem is I wanted to bring my bishop over here. And rook f6 is not exactly facilitating that. But maybe you can like take knight takes, black can take knight takes e3 next, yes? So it might be a decent idea. Yeah, actually not a very bad idea. After queen e3 you trade. At least here we go into an endgame where my king is safe. But yeah, maybe rook f6 was a good move. Yeah, not a bad suggestion actually, rook f6. What do you mean worst days? I was busy all these days. I could not do anything. There was no other option. I could only stream at this moment. But yeah, rook f6 was very decent. But yeah, I played a very panicky move and all of a sudden his pieces were coming to life. And he again opens up the center. Here I felt like I was just going to lose. I was just playing more on inertia and trying not to blunder, I guess. But in general, it looked very bad. Like this is always an idea is, yeah, c7 is coming. His knight is going to jump everywhere. I mean, his king on the other end is totally safe. Oh, damn. Lab exams tomorrow. I feel like you should focus on that. Yeah. Chess is not really going to help in your lab exams as far as I remember. Good luck with that, by the way. Yeah, sorry about the stream timing. Mm. No, 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 no. Don't sacrifice the exams. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I really thought I was going to lose. Like at this moment, I really thought I was going to lose. Like I had 1 minute to 12, and this just looks absolutely lost here. So I go knight d6. He goes c7. Maybe he could have gone queen d7. By the way, I'm not sure. We were discussing this after the game. Yeah, queen d7 was just winning. Actually, the cleanest win. And I was calculating something like this. And yeah, we kind of agreed that this would be winning in the long run because, well, just my pawns are kind of hanging, yeah. So something like this, maybe. Yeah, he said that I thought I might have chances to hold this, but he said that this should be winning, and turns out, yeah, his gut feeling is correct. G4 is quite strong because he puts his rook here and brings the king, yeah. So even you have an exam tomorrow, damn. Bro, what are y'all doing? Sorry for the distraction, but yeah, unfortunately, I could not stream before this. I hope your exams go well. Well, yeah, we were discussing this exact line, but for him, c7 was more tempting. And here he goes knight c6, which I was very surprised by because we he wanted to win the queen, of course, like this. But okay, over here I blundered with rook d8, but these are more of subtleties. Like apparently I had rook e8 and king d7. I missed king d7 over here because after rook d8 he has this. He can just take on h6 and take on g5, and it should be winning basically. Like I can try to put some resistance here, but it's not the same. But he went queen d5, and he totally missed. I had this move, simply running with my king, and simply like, I mean, catching the pawn. I'm not allowing the pawn to queen. Like, for example, if I allowed his queen to jump here, then he would play this and it would not be very nice for me. No, 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 no. I mean, I didn't have any seconds. It's a freestyle event. I was just there to have fun. You'll blame me later. uh, well, yeah, I'm sorry about that. He missed a simple win. I mean, see, it's easy to say queen d7 was a winning move, and of course we are strong enough players to see that queen d7 is a winning move. The problem is to choose between c7 and queen d7. Like that's the actual problem. It's not like we are idiots and we don't see queen d7. Yeah, most of the time we see the winning move, we just get tempted by something else. That's what happened with him. And over here he played some moves very quickly, and it allowed me to gain counterplay. Of course, he tried some tricks, of course. Like if I take the pawn, I think, what was his plan? Yeah, queen d7 was his plan. Like trying to like discoordinate my knight because I can't do this. But I was smart and I played king c5 because I want to take back with the rook. So he tried this trick multiple times, but finally I take it because he has no queen d7. Yeah, and over here, I secured my passed pawn and planted the rook on e5, and now it's very clear that I'm quite safe because I have these ideas next, and he has to finally stop. Can you hear me now? Okay, I guess it's back now. No, yeah, honestly, I don't know what is going on, man. Like, I really. Microphone said checkmate. No, no, no. I claimed it as a stalemate, and it's. Yeah, I did not lose. So, no, honestly, I don't know what is going on. You remember when I played against Botnik in one of those Freestyle Fridays? This exact same thing happened. I honestly don't know why. I don't know, like, if the stream was still on or not, but I just restarted the whole thing. It's quite annoying. Okay, I hope it's back. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. What's my age? I'm 20. Yeah, I don't know what is happening. Why is it even happening? But okay, it's fine. Let me just. Oops. Wait, what? Board. Okay, now it's back. Yeah, okay. So as I was saying, yeah, I kind of planted my rook on e5. Uh, I planted my rook on e5, and yeah, this is an idea. So the best he can do is just go for a perpetual. So yeah, that's sort of what happened. Yeah. So to conclude it, I mean, what can I say? Crazy game. He played very well, honestly. For a long time, he played really, really well, and we both played very well actually. But over here, yeah, I didn't have enough time to play the position. It was quite complex, and he managed to try and open up my position and create this, but wasn't able to finish it. So yeah, I sort of defended well in time pressure, I guess you can say that. But yeah, he should have won on a normal day, probably. I guess. I guess. Does your internet come from the Strait of Hormuz? Probably. Probably. Thoughts on the World Championship? Oh, that's yeah, that's a hot take, I guess. It's going to be an interesting match for sure. I think like Sindarov has very recently improved quite a lot, so it's like he's not very a very familiar face at the elite in the elite circles. Like although after the candidates he's probably like world number 5 or 4 or something like this, but he has not played as many elite events as the others, and I guess people are not too familiar. Like in general, people are not too familiar. Like the top players are not familiar playing with playing against him, so they don't have a very good feel over his style, I guess. But in general, it's going to be quite an interesting match, I guess, because Sundarov is quite different from Gukesh, I think, in terms of playing style and everything, and attitude as well. Seems to be a bit different. But they're both very young, I guess. Both are going to be 20, I guess, and it's also kind of a lot of prestige is involved, yeah, because both India and Uzbekistan are supposed to be um, like powerhouses of chess right now. So it's going to be like a very very interesting match. I mean, it's not no one. You can never say like one of them is clearly going to win or something. You can never say that. But yeah, honestly, I have no clue. I really have no clue because Gukesh can be very strong and Sundarov can be very strong at their best. So finally, it always all comes down to critical moments, how well you handle those moments. Um, have I played Sindarov? Yes, actually, once. Abu Dhabi 2024. At that point, he was like 26, 60 or 70, like that. He hadn't crossed the 2700 barrier yet. And he was a bit better in that game, but I managed to hold with black. But yeah, since then I think he has changed some things, and yeah, he's improved quite a lot since then. So it's going to be an interesting match for sure. Yeah, it used to be US versus Russia. True. Especially at the Olympiad and everything. US Russia was a big match, but now it's India and Uzbekistan. Yeah. Mr. Only Ires. I guess, yeah, if whether or not I do is, I guess I can't say that. You 2700 when? Me want 2700. 2700. Me don't know when. He's carrying great form. Yeah, I mean, in general, you could say the same again for Gukesh as well when he reached like almost 2780. He carried great form in those moments as well. So, I mean, you can't just say you can't just judge a player from such a short period of time only from these events. Yeah, I mean, a lot can change from now till the World Championship. So, no, honestly, 2700 is not the new normal. Just Yagis Khan probably is just a genius kid. Yeah, what else can I say? You want me to reach 2700 overnight just because you have exams tomorrow? Yes, yes, momentum is important, of course, but also like it's still a long way till the championship. A lot like they're just going to start their prep now. I mean, select their seconds and whatever else. So, I mean, how well their prep is also a very very important factor. There are many important factors. Like you can't judge a match just from playing strength and whatever, and at this very moment based on form. It can be anything. Yeah. Oh, really? Hikaru said Gukesh is going to win. Well, I mean, finally, see, in general, in all truth, I'm going to tell you, it always comes down to the critical moments. Like, they are both 2750 plus players, whatever. I mean, how can you just say one player is better than another? It's not going to happen, yeah? Your dog said he won't eat until I reach 2700. I feel like you imposed this on him, man. Game Smasher. I feel like you imposed this on your dog. And that's not very safe for your dog. It probably means I have to get to 2700 soon. Hmm. Nice idea. What is my next tournament? I'm playing the Sardinia Chess Festival in Italy. It's like in 10 days. Yeah, yeah, I will continue to stream, don't worry. Magnus hints Sindarov is going to win? Well, I mean, see, again, I think for Magnus it's more on playing styles, but in general, I feel whoever has prepped well and is in good form on those particular days, that's all that matters. Yeah? And it comes down to nerves as well. So, yeah. Magnus would come back if Sindarov wins World Championship, perhaps just for fun. It would be quite funny if he did that just as a joke, but I don't think so. Do you stop preparing for exams till I reach 2700? Maybe not, because I've been grinding this for the last 3 years. So don't pin your hopes on me. Don't pin your hopes on me. Oh, Akash left at some point. Damn. I didn't realize Akash left. Hmm. Well, no. Analyst is not done for the day. I have one last game. So the last game after drawing against Nepo, I get Denis Kadric, 2500 Grandmaster from Montenegro. And over here, I think I was already quite exhausted from all these games. So I just was playing. I decided to play quite quickly in this game, funnily enough. So I started very primitively with f3, and then c3. It looks quite funny. It's like, I don't know what you call this. Looks to me, for some reason, these look like crocodile eyes to me. What do you think? This looks like a crocodile. I'll call this the crocodile actually. I don't know why, but I see a crocodile over here. Bull? Well, you see a bull? Well, I don't know. Okay, in any case, I take the center and I bring my pieces, and he does this very funny barricade of just pushing his pawns like this. And for some reason, it looks okay, but I mean, I knew I had to be better just because I have very harmonious pieces. And yeah, this moment I take space with d5. And over here, I saw this very interesting idea of playing this so that I shut his bishops forever. But then I thought maybe I'd have trouble creating a breakthrough. Like, let's see the eval actually. I'm not even sure the eval would be here. Because I thought he can slowly bring his pieces, push h5, something like this. I mean, maybe I'm better, but I felt like it's limiting my possibilities in the position, yeah? Yeah, it's better for it, but not a lot. So what I did was great. I went knight d2. I was hinting at playing a4 and b4. He goes knight f7. I push. And I push. And he's sort of playing like in the style of a King's Indian, where he has this structure, but I mean, it's the King's Indian is not a good opening, to put it mildly. It's just not a good opening. And over here, I just have a very nice position. I could have even gone like g4 or h4, but I thought I'd try something like this. Maybe it wasn't even the best idea to go try for this, but my opponent got spooked and he decided to go very rash and try to like attack me straight away. But yeah, he decided, like, this is a very common King's Indian sacrifice actually. If you've looked at some games, I don't know, but sacrificing the rook like this is quite common, just to sacrifice it for the dark squares. Even this was quite nice for me, but I thought, hell, why should I even allow this? Like, I could have even gone just bishop d3 to protect the pawn, but I decided to play g3, forcing him to commit to taking on e4. Like, he could have done this, and my plan was just queen g2, and I'm just an exchange up, I guess. But he takes with the knight. The point being, it was quite tricky actually, because if I take over here, he has check, and suddenly I'm just lost. But of course, I took with the bishop here, and if he takes, no, he had one move. If he plays knight c3, my idea was to play over here, take, e4, and I think I had bishop d4 and knight c2. Yeah, this was my idea actually, to prevent everything, and yeah, pretty much just a piece up for nothing. But he goes ef4 and sacrifices a whole rook. And well, it looks like he has some counterplay, like maybe some check is incoming if my knight moves or whatever. But I have this very precise sequence where everything just works for me. Like, I could have castled even over here, but I saw bishop f3 and I was quite happy with it. So I went for this line. And okay, like if I play king d1, I'm again a rook up, but I didn't want to allow like some random counterplay, so I decided to exchange queens. And I just sacrificed back a piece so that I could go into an endgame. But I knew this was like completely winning. I mean, he has this weakness on a7 and my pawns are quite far advanced. I don't think he has anything over here. Oh yeah, I had this very cute tactic of exchanging rooks. But over here, something very interesting happened. So he took knight takes b5, okay? So if he takes this, I'm just winning with rook takes c7. But he took knight takes b5. And I saw two possibilities. I could take over here and play rook c7 here and, you know, sort of win this pawn. Or I could go knight c6, keep the knights, and he probably has to go knight d4 check, something like this, and it should be winning in the long run. But I thought, hell, why should I even calculate all this? Let me just take and go here. And he has absolutely zero counterplay, and his king is stuck, and I just win the pawn, and I slowly win the game. Well, it turns out it was actually just a fortress, because this was just absolutely shocking for me. My opponent simply resigned, and I thought it was justified. Like, I'm going to win the game, bro. Like, what are you going to do? I'm binding you, and you cannot do shit. Yeah, you better resign. Turns out the guy can actually just construct a fortress like this, and suddenly it's a draw. Which, when I saw this, like after the game, I was completely baffled. Like it's absolutely a fortress. I cannot do anything to break through. And I thought during the game the resignation was totally justified and nothing was wrong with it. And even he just resigned. Like he realized, oh well, there's nothing more you can do. But turns out this is just a fortress, and I had completely forgot that he could do this. Oh yeah, Game Smasher. Anish Sarkar might be watching, right? Yeah, I honestly got lucky the opponent gave up, yeah. Because the game was extremely winning for me, like during this whole period. And then all of a sudden, yeah, this thing happens. Like, this is totally lost for him, like, totally lost. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this fortress comes. That was insane. But fortunately for me, he just resigned, which was quite funny. And I was quite happy. I mean, I totally deservedly won the game. I would join Harshit's stream on the last day. Yeah. I had to rush for Menorca. That was the reason I couldn't join Harshit's stream. Honestly, I didn't even know he was doing a stream, but it was just for the commentary, I guess, yeah. Why not BD3 protecting everything instead of Queen G2? Let me see. In the game, I only calculated like Queen G2. I did not see BD3. I guess takes was an issue and some check. I mean, sure, it is winning actually, just because I'm a rook up, but during the game my whole focus was to trying to get castle. That's why I played this, but apparently BD3 might be enough as well. Yeah, maybe it might be enough. Bishop F3 as well, but okay. Oh, Harshit and Somya. Mendonca and Menorca, that's funny. Well, yeah, no, yeah, I was yeah, my idea was just to castle. That's why I went Queen G2, but I could have castled here. Apparently, yeah, apparently I have this. I mean, after all, I'm so much material up that all this is just completely winning. But I played these moves quite quickly, actually. It was winning, just that in the end, I had to do it a bit carefully, but I somehow didn't do that, and it ended up being a fortress. But well, sometimes you need a bit of luck. What can I say? Yeah, so that is how the tournament ended. Well, someone asked for the standings. Let me just show you the standings here. Um, yeah, this. Mhm. Yeah, this was. Wait, let me just fix it over here. Mm, this was the final standings. Wait, what is going on? Wait a second. How do I fix this? Ah, like this maybe. Yeah. So this is the final standings. Vincent won it quite convincingly. Um, wait, my camera is blocking some of the book holes. Huh. Oops. Oops a daisy. Well, well, you get the point. I mean, yeah, you get the point. All these guys were on 7.5, I guess. Um, not all these guys. Sorry, Vincent and MVL ended up on 7.5, which was really impressive. I mean, that's a really hard score to achieve. Um, yeah, and I tied for third along with Magnus, Jan, Sarana, Duda, Nadir Beck, and Aryan Chopra. And then there was like a bunch on 6.5. Yeah, very strong field. I mean, you can see all these guys, extremely strong players. But yeah, I mean, with in such a tournament with so many players, it's very, very like how many players are there even? Yeah, 310 players. Yeah, you need to keep winning in such an event. Like with so many players, you just need to keep winning. But for me personally, it was not about like finishing well or anything. It was, I just Enjoyed playing. Um, I just enjoyed playing the event. That's all. Oh, Akash is back. You got a Discord message. Someone is missing. Yes, yes, yes. Akash, we did miss you, in fact. We did miss you. Bro, what is me being like, what is Portuguese blood got to do with me finishing seventh? Oh, so yeah, yeah, I do get it actually. I do get it. That's a funny joke. Right, right, right. I do get it. I could have won. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, I had a couple of lucky games as well. And the only player I lost to finished after me. So, well, what can I complain about? I I mean, it's not like I was winning in the last. I mean, it's not like I lost in the last round and I finished seventh. It was, yeah, yeah, yeah. The winner had 7.5 points. Oh yeah, it's a bit covered, I guess. But the winner had 7.5 points. Yeah. What do I think about Vaishali versus Vengeance? I mean, the same thing. Yeah. I guess Ju Engine has been like 25, 50 plus player for a much longer time. And Vaishali, I don't think she's crossed 2500 yet. So I guess she has more experience. And in terms of rating, of course, she's a, more of a favorite. But I mean, still, anything can happen with nerves and prep. Anything can happen. So I feel like Vaishali does have a very fair chance of winning. Yeah, Vincent has a crazy good record in 960 actually. He's really, really good in 960 chess, Vincent. Mm. Yeah. Please play safe. Kramnik might tweet. Well, honestly, that I would consider that an achievement if that happens. Like if I play so well enough for him to tweet about me, I would consider it an achievement. It means I'm a good player. That's what it means. Magnus is not too shabby in freestyle. Yeah, yeah. After all, he's the world number one. What can we say? Make Blitz Arena, bro. I hardly get time to stream. I mean, I have to first figure out how to make a Blitz Arena. I'll try to do that. I'll try to do that. Are you the strongest player in 916? I have no clue, man. I have no clue. I just enjoyed playing the event. That's all. I mean, I didn't have any aim to finish like in the top three or do this or do that. I just wanted to enjoy and play each game well. That was my aim. Yeah, Magnus is in general he's quite a strong player. That's why he's good in freestyle. Yeah, what can I say? That's yeah. Okay, I'll go back to Lead Chess. I'll go back to Lead Chess and I'll fix the layout. Maybe I can just play a bit of ultrabullet before I go. I've been missing ultrabullet. Bro, what is this? Oh no no no, not like this. You get to see my skills, guys. My OBS skills. These are my OBS skills. I'll sit over here. Maybe if I click. No. Okay. No, no, not 1-0 bullet. Okay, guys. I think I have to go and you also have to go because it's quite late. So. No, 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 no. Who said I ignore leeches? I mean, I do play on leeches. Bullet mostly. How many 26 and 2700s did you play in Grenke? This year, just very few actually. I think four. Four. Maxim Lagarde was 2600. Hans, Duda, and Nepo were 2700 plus players. So yeah, four of them in total. But last year, I played six, which was quite an achievement. Game online, like something other than chess or what? When am I going to Sardinia? Well, the tournament starts on the 2nd, I think, or 3rd. of May. Yeah, yeah, the ultra bullet addiction is back. Yes. Baku ka daku. Yeah, I remember, man. During the pandemic, it was quite a thing. Ooh, almost knocked my mic. Huh. Create a lobby game. 1/4 plus 0. Yes. Okay. If Nihal is watching this, I should make him proud. I should make him proud. Wait, can y'all see? Oi, y'all cannot see. Damn it. Oh no. Oh no. How do I. Nah. I need to fix this first. How do I fix this first? Ah, maybe like this. Okay. Wait a second. No, 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 no. I need to fix this a little bit. Ah, maybe I put myself over here. This is a better idea. Like this? No. I guess like this. This is fine. Hmm. How about this? Okay. How about this? How about this? Okay. This works. This works. Ooh. I need to warm up my hands. Wait, why is my connection quite bad? It's only 2 bars. I'm a bit slow, but that's okay. Oh no, my connection is terrible. My connection is terrible. That's why I'm slow. My connection is simply terrible. Oh my god, bro, it's definitely. Yeah. I don't know why it's at 2 bars. Wait, wait, wait. I need to do something about this 2 bars. Why is it at 2 bars? Why is it at 2 bars? Am I connected to VPN or what is going on? Maybe it's this LAN cable. Let me try and remove this thing. This thing is ruining my. How do I. How do I remove it? Oh. How do I remove this shit? I don't know how to remove it. It's not the Botez gambit, it's the internet gambit. Like, how do I remove this thing? Wait, I connected it thinking my internet would be better. But yeah. I don't know how to remove it from my computer. Oh my gosh. I'm using the internet cable. That's the reason my internet is slow. Like, look, it's 411. This is no, 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 no. No, bro, no. This is not good. Okay, you know what? I'll disconnect it from there. Just give me a second. I'll be back. Okay. Okay. Now how is it? Now how is it? Why is it on 2 bars, man? Seems like I cannot play ultrabullet today. Why is it on 2 bars? I have no idea. Can someone tell me why is it on 2 bars? What is this volume? Wait. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? Go to leeches/lag. Ooh. No. Wait. Uh, no, like usually my connection to leeches is not so bad. I don't know why. Like right now it's lagging like crazy. Yeah, wait, sorry. Uh, why is it lagging? It's not about lag, it's just the connection is terrible. Why is that so? Why is that so? Why is that so? Uh, yeah, no. Usually the connection. That's why. That's why. Now it makes more sense. I was connected to VPN. Bro. Okay, now it should be better. Okay, 206. Okay, wait. Now let me just connect the LAN cable again. Okay. Disconnect the Portugal VPN. Well, sure. Since you've asked me, I've done that. Okay. Now it seems like 203. I can play ultrabullet with this actually. Yeah. The Portugal VPN. Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Let us go. Why is there no sound? Okay. Easy. Easy. Okay. Ui, блядь. Ooh, Bote's Gambit in action, but it's okay. Okay, this guy is a bit better than usual, I guess. Oh no. Okay, I blundered mate over there. Oh, my mouse. Not my mouse. It's me actually, not my mouse. Oh God. The guy's fast. Oh, the guy is mad. That was close. That was close. I'm slow with the mouse. Oh God. That was terrible by me. Too slow with the mouse. Dagestan upcoming. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Funny guy. Very funny guy. Oh my God. Yes. Oh gosh. I totally mouse slipped that. Whew. Okay. Oh no, 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 no. I blundered somehow. And now I'm opening up my king for some reason. Probably getting mated as well. Ah, no, no. I'm honestly just not used to like playing in for tricks. Yeah, I just cannot play for tricks. Nihal is an ultra specialist in playing for tricks. It's insane. The tricks he sees is genuinely insane. Like I've never seen someone with such skills basically. Yeah? The skills and the love for tricks. It's genuinely insane. Oh my god, this. Yes. Flagged his ass. Like the amount of tricks is just insane, which Nihal can play for. Why do I have 1 second, by the way? Oh, I survived at least by not losing. I took all his pawns before I died. But I have no idea why. Like it's insane, yeah, how Nihal can play for tricks in any position. Like some of the tricks I can't even fathom, and he sees them already from a mile away. Like it's genuinely incredible the amount of tricks that he's capable of coming up with. Like I admire it sometimes. It's just genuine skill. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh boy, that was funny. What? No. I blundered mate over there. I blundered mate over there. Oops. Oops a daisy. Oops a daisy. Oops, oops, oops. No. Why does he have so much time? Why does he have so much time? Like, I don't understand why he has so much time, yeah? I feel like I'm playing quite fast. Oof. How many times will I just fall for this shit? How many times? It's funny for y'all to watch, yeah? Of course. Now I'm just playing outright shit. Outright shit. And so slow as well. Okay. Extremely slow. That's the thing. Yes! Oh no. Whew. Hyperbullet burns more calories than running? Yeah, perhaps. Oh, блядь. What is the guy doing? Is he gone mad? What am I doing? That was tough. Did I just blunder my queen? For absolutely no reason. Oh boy. Okay, I should try to play for tricks at least. Yeah, how about that? Okay. No, 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 no. Okay, I sort of tricked him there. Hello, Logic Baba. This is me at 1 a.m. at night. I guess this is you as well. Oh my god, what? No way I fell for that. Man, come on, why do I keep. Oh my gosh. No way. This guy's tricking me left, right, and center by just attacking pieces. Funny move. What? Man, this is definitely rage baiting. This is definitely rage baiting me. Oh. Oh. Man, why don't I have no time, by the way? Like, why? Is it lagging or what? Thought it wouldn't lag. Oh, what am I doing? Why don't I have no time always? Like, why don't I have no time? Am I lagging or what is going on? Am I lagging or what? Your mouse is 600 rupees. You can't do this. I mean, my mouse is a bit more than 600 rupees, but I still can't do it anyways. So don't worry, Logic Baba. It's not your fault. You saw that? You saw that? What happened? That's my life, bro. That is me. That's been happening to me since I started playing ultrabullet. Oi. Why did I open my king? Oh my gosh, this is so. What? What am I doing? Oh, okay. Back on track. Okay. It's tied at 16 all. Two random guys playing at night. Yeah, it's tied at 16 all. Whew. Close one. I will abuse. Well, it might happen accidentally. Don't mind. Don't mind. Fuck. That was me about to abuse. But Anish Sarkar might be watching. That's why, yeah, I'm not abusing yet. Anish Sarkar, go to sleep. It's bedtime. It's bedtime. Oi. Wait, what? Why is it lagging? Why is he not playing? Wait, what? Is he trolling me? Wait, he might be justified in trolling me. Ah. Don't tell me he left, bro. Don't tell me he left at this stage of the match. Very critical stage of the match, and the guy is leaving. No, I will not tolerate this. Hmm. This mouse is supposed to be good, yeah? It's just me that's the problem. Oh, what? Guys, if y'all came here to learn chess, yeah, wrong place. Wrong place. Now I'm blundering left, right, and center. Actually, blundering left, right, and center. Bro, what is this? This is utterly unfair. What? No. No. What? Are you serious? How can I not win any of these, man? That did not work. Huh? What is going on? Oh, the guy lagged, not me. Okay, it's time to play like Nihal would play. Why is he lagging? Oh, he's lagging. Is it me or him? I don't know who's lagging. Was it me? Who was it? It's him. Okay. That's what ultrabullet does to you. What on earth is going on? Yeah, this guy is my arch rival in ultrabullet. That's how jobless I am right now. What? What even happened? I don't even know what happened over there, by the way. Ay, 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 ay. I was leading this match once upon a time, no? What happened after that? Whew. Damn. What is this guy smoking? It's definitely something I'm not aware of. What this guy is smoking. Yeah, I don't know what this is. What he's smoking. Okay, good stuff. What? How did I flag? It's pre-moving everything over there. Nice. Oh wait, yeah, Kishori was supposed to study, yeah. R.I.P. Kishori's study. R.I.P. Indeed. What is going on here? Oh, checkmate. No, 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 no. What am I doing? What am I doing? No, and I blundered the queen. Not the queen, bruh. How do I have no time? Absolutely. Like, how? Am I not playing fast enough? What is going on? How does he have 6 seconds at the end and I have nothing? How is that possible? Bruh. Brrr. What a cheeky guy, man. Threatening checkmate like this, man. What is this behavior? Hehehehe. Checkmate. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. Yeah, whoever is bored of this and needs to actually do useful things in life, yeah, y'all should sleep. Yeah, just saying. Don't get distracted by this jobless guy pretending to be good at ultrabullet. Yeah, don't get fooled. What the fuck? What? How did he do that? This nasty guy. What a nasty guy. What? No. Oh my gosh. That was very embarrassing. Oh, damn. Fic. Oh my gosh. Ridiculously bad. Lol. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Logic Baba, you should sleep. No, no, I won't be here. I'm not that terrible. I'm not like Nihal, yeah, like so bad. Nihal is worse. Oh boy. No way. Yeah, in that game I got battered by pawns. That is true. Yes. Tricked him with a check. Oh my gosh. Literally blundering everything now. Nihal didn't teach me. No, he taught me some things, but yeah, I mean, I'm just too good of a guy to be pro at ultrabullet. Okay, that was nice. Okay, guys, I'll probably go soon. I'll just tie the match maybe and go. I can promise you that. Yeah, too slow. Okay, 30 to 33. So if I tie the match, then we can all go to sleep. How about that? Yeah, doesn't seem likely from this that it's okay. And what is this? How is he playing faster than me? Where am I losing the time? Am I not pre-moving everything? Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Maybe tying the match is a bit too far now. So I'll just play last two. I'll just win two and go. I'll just win two and go, guys. I'll just win two and go. Okay, one. Now last one. Where am I losing time, guys? Where am I losing time? Am I not pre-moving everything? I swear I'm gonna play from Italy or somewhere, wherever the heck I am. It's probably. I've pre-moved everything, and how have I 10 seconds only remaining? Okay, one. Okay, one, 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 one. Hey, where did he go? The guy went. Oh my gosh. His mom called him for dinner. Maybe. Yeah, why did I do this, by the way? Man, I'm done. We are saved. Yeah, I'm finally sparing. His mom calling him for dinner is what is saving you. Oh my gosh. Disturbing chess, thank you for the raid, but I'm going to sleep. Thank you for the raid, disturbing chess. But yeah, over here you don't get to learn any chess. That's the problem. Total 16. Total 69 games played. Right. Very. Yeah. Why did you notice this number, by the way? Sure, Logic Baba. Your 600 rupees mouse and my little more than 600 rupees mouse, but we are both equally slow. That's the moral of the story. We are both equally slow. Number of a therapist. I don't know. Maybe a little bit high from playing ultrabullet. That's the problem. Ay, ay, ay. Honestly, I did not even play these days during the tournament and all. I didn't play like a lot of ultrabullet. Sure. Yeah, but Logic Baba, I will let you know. I will let you know. Thank you for joining this stream, whatever you call it. Okay, in the first part, I did some useful stuff. I recapped my games. So, yeah. Brother, brother, you need to sleep and I need to sleep. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow we play. Oh, by the way, tomorrow I'll stream most likely in the early evening. So your sleep won't be disturbed. So that's like I don't know, some 6 or 6:30 p.m. maybe. Beth Harmanja. uh, this stream is better than drugs. Man. Did I see the the documentary? No, actually, no. Which is, yeah, I should watch it. Actually, I will. I will watch the documentary. Thank you very much, Disturbing Chess. Yep, I was about to lose that game. I was about to lose that game. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining. I'll stream most likely tomorrow at around 6 or 6:30, something like this. Not at night, not at night, but in the evening. I don't think that was the real Anish Sarkar, so it's fine. It's fine. What is this, man? Sindarov started potty training. What is this? Good night, everyone. See you. And yeah, better go to sleep now before it's too late. What a good way to end exams, right? See you, Logic Baba, Dushyant. See you. Bye bye. Hope y'all enjoyed this, whatever it was. Yeah, no, I said I understand it Hindi, so it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye. Good night.